According to Adam Schefter, the Bengals will be parting ways with Andy Dalton. Back in March, The Athletic reported that Dalton was not discussed in the Patriots' immediate plans. Since then, however, the Patriots did not select a quarterback in the draft. So, Skip, I start with you. Do you expect Belichick to sign Andy Dalton?
I'm just going to hazard a guess on this because I do not know Bill Belichick. I just closely observe Bill Belichick. My guess is no, he will not. I'm guessing that because of Belichick's track record of being wildly unpredictable. He loves to do whatever nobody is expecting him to do. He does love to shock the world. And it would be shocking to me in a conventional way if he did what everybody sort of expects him to do now, which is to sign the poor man's Tom Brady. Andy Dalton's pretty good. A lot of people have argued with me over the years. He's very good. He did make 3 Pro Bowls. It was a while back, 2011, 2014, 2016. He made the Pro Bowl. As a starter, he's 70-61 with 2 ties. Not bad. And yet, from 2012 to 2015, I know we're going back a ways, over those 4 years, he had the 4th most wins in pro football. In that span, Brady had 48, Peyton and Russell Wilson had 46, and he had 41. So he's won a whole bunch of games. And yet, he made the playoffs 4 times, and he didn't win a playoff game. But he has played in 4 wild card games. But in those 4 games, he has 1 touchdown to 6 interceptions. So he's Brady-esque in his approach to the game. He's sort of a dressed up, if you will, game manager who did make 3 Pro Bowls. But when it came time to win playoff games, he wasn't very good. And I believe Belichick views him as nothing more than a poor man's Brady. Would he be a perfect fit for them? Yes, he would. He's a good guy. He's a great teammate. He would be a joy to work with for Belichick and the coaching staff because he ain't making no waves. Whatever Belichick said he would do, he would defend Belichick the way Brady always did in the locker room. He would be a nice leader for the team, but he ain't Brady either. He doesn't have that it factor, that charisma, that thing that Brady always did that was so valuable to Belichick, especially in big playoff games. It's not Andy Dalton. So I believe that Belichick wants to really shock the world and prove his genius by saying, watch what I can do with a 4th-round pick that nobody loved, Jared Stidham, that he now calls Stid. I believe he wants to go forward with Stid at quarterback because that would be an achievement. If he could make the playoffs next year after a below-average draft and doing next to nothing in free agency while he had a mass exodus during free agency of Patriots to other teams, if he could make the playoffs with Stid in his first year as a starter next year, that's how you polish your genius. That's how you say, look, I was really everything, not Brady. It was me. So to me, Andy Dalton gets you nowhere, and I'm just going to guess no on Andy Dalton.
Skip, your point about Andy Dalton, and you talk about the playoffs, that he had gone to 4 playoff games. Andy Dalton played well enough to get you to the playoffs, but he never played well enough in the playoffs to actually win you a game. And Skip, you mentioned that time frame. That's when A.J. Green was at his apex. A.J. Green, in many circles, was thought of as one of the best 2 or 3 receivers in all of football. And then these nagging injuries start to take effect, and then all of a sudden, Andy Dalton numbers started to come down when you don't have your #1 receiver on Sunday on a regular basis. You know, Skip, when I look at when you look at Coach Belichick, and I agree 100% with what you said, he's very unorthodox. He's willing to take guys. You see what I did? I took Kyle Van Noy. They said he was a bust in Detroit. Look what I got out of it. I had Jamie Collins. He wanted a big payday. He goes to Cleveland. He can't do anything. Look at me. I bring him back here. So he's always doing that. He did that with Jason McCourty, who was in Tennessee. He gets him, wins the Super Bowl. So he's that type of guy, which would strike me, Skip, Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton can't win no playoff game. Andy Dalton can't win anything. Yeah, he was in Cincinnati, yada, yada. But Coach Belichick's like, I take Andy Dalton, win a playoff game. Nobody thought he could do that. See, Coach Belichick, Skip, he still believes he can take grapes, he can take water and make wine. Coach Belichick thinks that. Skip, the great ones always think, I can do it. In the 5 heartbeat, Eddie Kane, he swore he could say he was down and out on that thing, drug basket, but he believed he could still say. Coach Belichick still believes, no matter the quarterback, he can take water and make wine. He believes that, just like Tom Brady. Tom Brady gonna be 60 years old, Skip, and they gonna say, you know what? Tommy's there. I still believe I can sling it. I think if you can protect me long enough, Skip, I still believe I can go throw a touchdown or two, even at the ripe old age of 60. That's just the way they're wired, Skip. And Coach, now, although you and I like the fit because I think Andy Dalton is a good quarterback. I didn't say great, Skip. I said good. And somehow, guys seems to get in New England's system, and they play better than they ever played in somebody else's system. Now, Randy Moss, we know what Randy was. He just didn't want to be in Oakland because we saw what Randy was in Minnesota. He was an absolute monster, and for whatever reason, he fell out of, he didn't want to be in Oakland anymore, and he just like, nah, I'm done. Get me up out of here. And then when he got to New England, it was a whole different. But for the most part, Skip, they get guys. Look at Hogan. Look at Wes Welker. Look at Amendola. Skip, Amendola was in St. Louis. He was okay, but he wasn't like what he is now, what he was with New England. And so that's the way I look at it, Skip. Would I be surprised? No. Would I be surprised if Andy Dalton went to New England and played well? No. Guys that don't play well in other places or don't always play up to their potential, they get to New England, and for whatever reason, Coach Belichick is able to reach down and pull whatever they got in them that's good, pull it out.
Okay, all I know for a fact, for your sake, you better root for Belichick to sign Andy Dalton because that's the only hope you have of winning your 5-case of Diet Mountain Dew bet with me that New England will have a better record next year than Tampa Tom will down in Tampa Bay. Because with Andy Dalton, I would give you a shot. I'd give you a shot to go 9-7 maybe. But Jared Stidham, like I picked 8-8 for the Patriots. I don't think they can even go 8-8 given what's left New England so far and how lousy the draft was. I don't think they could go 8-8 with Jared Stidham. So again, I got Brady at 12-4. At least Andy Dalton would give you a shot at that bet.
Well, first of all, Skip, I did not know that you guys were lying in the weeds and you were going to finagle Gronk out of New England. Now the NFL might need to suspend, might need to look into this because Gronk is saying, I had the playbook 4 weeks ago. Well, maybe they're going to say, well, it was around the tampering period, so he was allowed to do that. So that you know what happened. You know what happened, Skip. He said he had the playbook for 4 weeks. So this thing been in the making for 4 weeks. Sneaky. But anyway, yeah.
Time out. Time out. Wait a second.
What?
Gronk tweeted about this. He tweeted he was making a joke. It was said in jest that he just got the Tampa playbook. Yeah.
Don't Skip.
It was
a joke. Skip Bayless. No joke. When have you ever known Gronk to joke like that? You know what happened, Skip Bayless. And what happened was it got back to Gronk. Tampa's like, look, you couldn't have the playbook. We weren't supposed to be talking. That would be a tampering charge, and we don't want to lose draft pick. So just go on there and say you were joking. And that's what he did. You know what happened, Skip Bayless. But notwithstanding, I did not see the Patriots getting Gronk because, like I said, we talked about this. Gronk seemed happy to me doing WWE, doing stuff with us here at Fox. I thought he was happy. But he said, hey, the itch came back. Well, that rash only bared his head when he was in New England under Coach Belichick's watch. Now they got something special down in that water at Tampa that all of a sudden that rash didn't come back because it seems to be he's ready to go play in Tampa now. And I'm happy for him. But Skip, look, I think Andy Dalton would be a better fit than Brian Hoyer. Now, if you want to get Stid, as he called him, the McCourty twins call him Steady, Jared Stidham. If you want to give him first crack at it, no problem. But I do believe that Andy Dalton is better than Brian Hoyer, and no one can convince me otherwise.